5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. The only thing we have to fear is fear.
Mile 18.
This is Endurance Nation.
Free resource alert. Did you know that Endurance Nation created the 4 keys of racing execution? That's right, the seminal framework that people use to put structure into an otherwise unorganized and chaotic race day. We created it back in 2009. I've been honing that process ever since across all manner of sport and work as well. Our athletes use it in all aspects of their lives. It's an opportunity for you to use a framework that boils down the most complex situations into critical steps that you can follow and prepares you for the challenges that exist on race day. We have this framework. It's available for you. It's free. You can actually go online. If you go to endurancenation.us/4 keys, that's all written out, FOUR keys. You'll get an opportunity to download a free resource that explains the 4 keys to you, including a video from me, Coach Patrick, outlining how you can use it and opportunities to access even deeper resources down the line. This is your chance to break out of the chaos. If you've had bad races, messed up races, made simple mistakes, really wish when you cross the finish line that you can get that 30 minutes back, now you can. Plan ahead. Get the 4 keys at endurancenation.us/4 keys.
Endurance Nation.
Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation, back with a special episode. It's the middle of the year here in North America. It is July, and that means we are full on in race execution season. And the number one thing that our members, our athletes want to know, and our alumni and our audience as well, is how they can go ahead and have a fantastic race. How can they make sure that they break through, have a better race than they did last year, or a better race than they did earlier this year? And I always point them to our race execution course. It's a separate course we've taken outside of Endurance Station and put it in a place where you can access it and purchase it. It's just $47 for the entire module, which is a crazy steal. And I'm about to tell you why. So what does it mean to get better when you think about racing? Well, after a race, let's go back, right? I'll tell you a story about young Patrick, who had done several Ironman races. It took me about 8 Ironman races before I qualified for Kona. And in those first 8 races, I did a lot of soul searching because I'd done good training and bad training, a variety of different types of training, really hadn't put a lot of thought into it. Your classic endurance athlete who's excited to train and just wants to get outside today and do a workout, but not really so worried about the structure, the progression, the outcome, the key workouts, the race simulations, nutrition planning, all those things that separate, the ordinary from the best. And before I really even knew those things. So when I was studying into this sort of close, as I was getting internally more and more aligned with these goals of hey, I want to be really good. I want to go to Kona. This is my aspiration, etc. But I wasn't seeing the progress. And what I was doing mistakenly, which is what I know many of you are doing as well, is that you're pulling the lever for training. You're like, well, I obviously didn't run enough last year. So I'll take all the training I did for swim and bike, for example, and I'm going to add more running to it. And then you go out and have a race and that didn't work out. So I'm going to add some more biking to this workout, maybe a variety of different intensity sessions and so on. So on top of the more running from the year before, now adding more biking on top of the baseline biking, pretty soon you get to a place where you start to break down. And it's really frustrating because you're putting more in and you're not getting more out. Garbage in, garbage out. What I'm really alluding to here is the fact that your execution on race day has very little to do with toggling the training switches. For sure, toggling switches to keep you safe, keep you healthy, keep you tapered and ready to race, that totally makes sense to me as a coach, right? But when I think about just adding more to get better, just run a lot more to run better, just ride a lot more to ride better, that's great. However, the vast majority of us in today's, sort of gig economy and work and the demands that we have simply don't have more time to train, right? There's a percentage of our athletes inside Endurance Station who are 65 plus who have more time to train. Until you get there, you don't have more time to train. So then how do you get better? This is crazy, right? I'm telling you as a coach not to train more to get better at racing, but I'm telling you about this race execution thing. Why? What's the differential here? The difference is this, that the race execution process has you actually write down, map out exactly what you want to do on race day. And it turns out that the act of writing and capturing and rehearsing that story actually takes that narrative of your race, your ideal race that we build, and burns it into your memory banks. So that on race day, when you get out there and you're asking your quads and your glutes and your lower back and your triceps and whatever else you're using to make sure that you're on track and doing well, making smart decisions nutritionally and pacing wise, etc. All of that work is based off of your race plan because we have written it out and we've created a plan. Just think about it for a second. If you've got something to do this Friday, if I tell you, hey, on Friday, I need you to go out and clean the gutters, are you just going to say, yeah, got it? No, you're going to write it down. You're going to put it on a Post-it note. You're going to put it in your phone. You're going to put it somewhere so that you remember, because the act of writing it down actually starts to burn into your memory. There's tons of research on this, that the act of writing actually burns it into your prefrontal cortex. It creates new neural pathways, and it's going to make you a better athlete overall. So when I talk about doing this race execution course, people say, I need to learn how to race better. I just need more training. I need more time. That's the age-old solution that everybody wants to sell you. So you just do more training. So you hire more coaches. So you go to more training camps. So you do more work, because obviously you're just not doing enough work. That's your big limiter. That's the internal voice telling us that we are inadequate and we don't deserve the success that we want. In reality, the smartest athletes actually have created a race plan that they rehearse. And not just, as you'll find out from the module, not just created a plan and said, I'm going to do it, but actually stress tested that plan, run through it, right? Actually rehearse it. It becomes part of your taper process in the last 5 to 7 days of your race. You're actually going to go through that race plan multiple times in your head. In fact, it's the best endurance lullaby known to man, is to review your race plan. Because for me, in an Ironman race plan, I never make it through halfway on the bike because I'm already asleep. Because at that point in time, it's been 15 minutes. I'm on my back and I'm passed out because I'm exhausted. That's exactly what we want. I want you to go through that place. So when you actually have a problem on race day, when you come to a critical decision juncture on race day, you're not just rolling the dice saying, well, I guess I'm going to try this new thing. You actually have a plan, and you're making decisions in the context of that plan. And you actually, if you've done the plan really, really well, sort of like black belt level, you've got multiple different scenarios within that plan of how you want to modify things. So things actually do get really, really hot. Or there's a rainstorm and now the humidity really sets in. You've thought about that. You have a contingency for it. And now you're just following the steps of your contingency. So leave the days of rolling the dice and putting guesswork out there behind. Go to Endurance Nation. I'll give you the link here in this video and in the podcast. Go to Endurance Nation, get the course. It's $47. It's $47. You'll pay 10 times that, 20 times that to go for a race just to roll the dice again. Stop rolling the dice. Use our proven framework. We started using it in 2009. It's been over 15 years of athletes using this to define excellent races on paper or digitally, whichever you prefer, practicing them in their training, and then putting it into practice and putting it into actual reality on race day. Don't have another year where you just do the same thing again with more training and hope for different results. You can do better. We've got a system for you to do it. Go check it out, endurancenation.us. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome day, and best of luck with your training and racing.
Endurance Nation.
Product of the week is our Race Saver bag. Stay cooler, race faster. Have you ever been in a race? You pass an aid station and then you can't wait for the next aid station. As a runner, you're just craving it. Even though they're only a mile apart on the road, it seems that each one is getting further and further apart. What if you could take the ice that you had at that last aid station and carry it with you? Not in a cup, not clinking around, but in a handy bag on your wrist. That, my friends, is the Race Saver bag. It takes advantage of your physiology, where your body generates a protein that actually signals to your brain that you're cooling off. It happens in the core of your hand. Professional athletes use this, and now you can too. You can't race in the heat without managing your core temperature, and now you can. It's the Race Saver bag, and you can find it online at www.mile18inc.com/race-saver. That's mile18inc.com/race-saver, all one word. You can get your bag now. Hey, get two. Share one with your friend or your loved one so you make sure they also have the race of their life. You don't slow down, and you make everyone else jealous out there on the race course. Get a Race Saver.
For more information about Endurance Nation, visit us online at endurancenation.us. The provided music is from the Podshow Podsafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com.